Good evening. I'd like to call this city council meeting on December the 19th to order. I'd like to call on Ward 3 for the invocation. Come on.
Yes, sure. Join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight giving you thanks for your protection on our city and all of those residents and folks who protect us, the first responders, God, everyone who serves our city, the city council. We ask tonight, God, for your wisdom and your direction as we deliberate, God, the matters that affect our whole city. We ask, God, that you would allow our decisions to please you and, God, to serve the citizens so that your peace, your prosperity, your blessing can rest on our city. We ask for that, especially at this time of year, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All righty. We'll get everyone to stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. I will call on the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Francis.
Here.
Councilmember Smiley.
Here.
Councilmember Marsh.
Here.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Here.
Councilmember Craig.
Here.
Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Here.
Councilmember Meek.
Here.
Councilmember Limburger.
Here.
Councilmember Keel.
Here.
Councilmember Bell.
Here.
Councilmember Handy. And we do have a quorum.
Thank you. Item 5, awards and recognitions. I call on the Hopkinsville Police Department, Chief Newby, to come down.
Mayor, Council, we're going to swear in 3 of our newest officers. Gentlemen, if you'll come up when I call your name. Officer Michael Sawyers. Officer Michael Farrell. Officer Jesse Bucker.
All right. If I can get y'all to raise your right hand, we'll do a little swearing in. All right. I state your name. As a citizen of the Commonwealth of Kentucky and of the United States of America, do solemnly swear that will faithfully perform to the best of your ability and duties, police officer for the city of Hopkinsville, and will support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so help you God. All righty.
Gentlemen, if you'll about face. There's a family member that wants to pin the badge on. Come up and do that now. Take pictures with them if you like. That's got all the pictures you want. Gentlemen, if you would just go greet the city council members once your pictures are finished.
Congratulations, officer. Welcome. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Congratulations, officer. Welcome. Thanks for your service. Mike, thanks for your service, sir. Blessings. Yeah.
Congratulations to the gentleman, and thank you for being part of the Hopkinsville Police Department. Thank you, Chief Newby. All righty, we move into item 6, public comments. If anyone would like to come to the microphone and speak at public comments, we'd be glad for you to come up, state your name and address. All righty, the floor is open for public comments. If anyone would like to come and speak at this time. All righty, seeing none, we'll move into mayor's comments. Just a couple. I'd like for you to remember the Kiwanis Warm the Children. Contact Nikki Chambers if anyone can help them with that. She's needing still donations. We were talking on the phone today, and she had a couple more families that she had to take shopping today and move forward, so we could remember them. We have the Salvation Army, the Red Kettle campaign. The donations and stuff are still going on, so please don't forget them. Parks and Rec done a great job on the parade that we had to postpone because of the rain, but their crew and Public Works done a great job with that. Thank you, Dave, on that. Toby, I think, went home and took a nap and ain't come back yet. But Santa Claus coming to town. Thank the fire department and Public Works again for what they did on that. They've done a great job with that. And a lot of the neighborhoods of kids had a good time with it over in the Tremont area where I'm at. In Springmont, they had a lot of pictures taken with the fire trucks and so on that. Want to give a big shout out to Public Works. They've got a cruise last week down in Clarksville working. Dave and them did, and Mike. And the sanitation department, they had a truck down there with us helping out the community in Clarksville, Montgomery County, trying to help them get some kind of sense of things cleaned back up so they can get back to normal on that. We brought up the last council meeting, the Walnut Street Stadium. We did do bids on that. We opened bids for that, and that's been going out, and that will be out next week on public record for all that. And that being said, I'd like to move right on into reports and officers and committee on that. And let's see. Nope, I just missed something here. Nope, we're ready to go with Mr. Tom Britton, Lafayette Road rezoning. Yes, sir. Keep myself on the right track.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
You have in your packet information regarding a rezoning request we received from 7 business owners along Lafayette Road. And the request is to rezone 7 properties from B1, which is a neighborhood business district, to a general commercial district. This property is just north of Kaufman and extends to just the south of the rail trail. And you see the properties there. This is just the street view to give everybody, I think everybody's familiar with this area on Lafayette Road. It starts at the Max's and goes north. This is viewing south. And just want to show you the properties that would be affected by the rezoning. This is the Max's, have a drugstore, the old U.S. Bank building, what used to be a car lot, insurance agency, some multifamily, as well as a nursery. Again, this was submitted by property owners. The commission held public hearings, provided notifications, and after review, we're offering a favorable recommendation to you. The commission believed that the zoning of B2 was more in line with the businesses that were currently in that location. The request was in agreement with the comprehensive plan. The B2 zoning was more appropriate, and there's been recent changes in this area which would justify the rezoning of property. I will note that the council approximately 12 years ago did rezone a large tract to the north of this to B2, which is the property just immediately to the north. So there is precedent for rezoning in this area. Mr. Mayor, council members, if any members or if the mayor has any questions, be happy to answer them.
We have any questions for Mr. Britton?
I'd like to make a motion to forward this to the clerk and draft an ordinance.
And a motion is second.
Yeah, I have a question, but is a motion and a second. I guess it would be appropriate now to ask. You did mention that notice you had public hearing and that kind of thing. No comments, no unfavorable comments from the public.
No unfavorable comments. The only comments we had were from the applicant who spoke in favor of the request.
I see. Okay.
No,
Thank
I
you.
need a second.
Second.
Jamie? All right. Any more discussion?
No, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty, moving right along to item B. Thank you, Tom. We'll move on to Miss Melissa Clayton, bring us up some good news about the finance. Well, she's smiling. We're in good shape so far.
That was good. That was a good sign.
I appreciate your festive sweaters tonight. It's unexpected. I did not dress Christmassy. All right, so let's get into the November financial report. We had 2 interfunds in the month of November. One to the Pennyroyal Hospice for a sponsorship, and the other one went to the Local Development Corporation for an HVAC unit at the Oddfellows building. That brings our total interfund transfers for November of $6,860, year-to-date interfund transfers of $36,184, and a remaining balance in the interfund account of $63,816. For revenues, we were down in payroll tax revenue for the month of November. But we are still running right at budget for the year. We're at 4.09%. We did budget a 4% increase. So that number is just about $7,000 over what we've budgeted for the year through 5 months. Our property tax revenue is still coming in strong. We budgeted $5,205,000, and so far we've collected $5,842,324. Our insurance premium tax is also running above where we were. Well, no, actually, sorry. This month we are behind where we were this time last year. Last year we had collected $2,993,000, and this year we've collected $2,958,000. So our equivalent premiums is showing a decrease through 5 months of 1.16%. Our business licenses are running above budget from last year. Last year we had collected $308,717, and this year we've collected $913,792. Which brings us to our general fund balance. Our general fund balance is still showing a positive now through 5 months. We had our prior year encumbrances of $256,251. Our year-to-date collected revenue of $24,581,610, and our actual year-to-date expenses of $21,552,793, giving us a positive revenue over expenses of $3,285,068. Our current encumbrances for the month of November were just $51,000, and that gives us a positive revenue over expenses of $3,234,062. So our fund balance comparison, last year to this year, you can see our revenue over expenses last year was a little bit higher through 5 months than it is right now. Last year we had revenue over expenses of $3,416,000, and right now we've got it. Our revenue over expenses is $3,028,000. Our municipal road aid had prior year encumbrances of $353,291. We've collected $300,000. Did I say $3 million? $329,027. We've had actual expenses of $746,727, giving us a negative. We have more expenses than we have revenue of $64,409. We have encumbrances left of just $1,191, so we have more expenses than revenue at the end of November of $65,600. Our capital fund is also showing more expenses than revenue through 5 months. We will do the second quarter transfer this month in December, so that should go back positive when we do that transfer. We had prior year encumbrances of $409,976. We've collected $620,555 so far in revenue and capital. Our actual expenses are $1,038,397, giving us a more expenses than we have revenue of a negative $7,866, and we still have encumbrances of $148,855. So we have more expenses than revenue of $156,721. We'll move on to our department expenses. Our department expenses for admin is at 41.9. The tax department's at 38.5. Our information technology department's at 54%. Legislative's at 42.5. The police department's at 41.2. ECC's at 50.1. The fire department's at 45.1. EMS is at 51%. And all of our public works departments are doing well still. We've got our admin department at 37.6. City maintenance is at 41.7. The Fort Campbell contracts is at 31.1. Service centers at 37.1. Parks and Recs at 49.3. And that sportsplex percentage is wrong. I'll have to, oh no, it's right. It's at 33.6. And the aquatic center's at 84.7. So total fund balances, total general fund is just running a little bit on expenses above what the budget should be at 43.2%. Our municipal road aid is running at 72% right now, and the capital fund is at 24.7%. And that includes the prior budget amendment we did during the month of November. So we added all of the capital expenditures to the budgeted line. So we haven't bought those things yet. Brings us to our cash balance. Cash balance at June 30th was $15,158,964. Our year-to-date receipts are $24,581,610, minus our year-to-date expenses of $21,552,793, giving us our cash balance on November 30th of $18,187,781, minus our encumbrances, gives us our available cash of $18,136,775. And then when we compare that to our unassigned cash fund balance of $16,049,103 to our adjusted operating budget, we get our percentage of unassigned cash to our adjusted operating budget of 38.6%. When we compare that to last year, you'll see that our percentage is very much similar to where we were last year through 5 months of the fiscal year. And that concludes my financial report. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you guys have any.
Any questions from Melissa? Everybody good?
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Ms. Clayton. All righty. Item 9, approval of minutes for December the 5th, 2023, regular meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Don, Bruce, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. Now we're downtown for a bunch of reading. All right, ordinances, ordinance 46-2023, renaming section of East 8th Street as the Bell Hooks Way, second reading.
An ordinance renaming a section of East 8th Street as Bell Hooks Way. Whereas Bell Hooks Legacy Group submitted a request to the E911 Advisory Board to rename a section of East 8th Street to honor the late hometown feminist author Gloria Jean Watkins. And whereas Hopkinsville Christian County E911 Advisory Board on September 28, 2023, favorably recommended renaming a section of East 8th Street as Bell Hooks Way. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1. That the 200 to 400 block of East 8th Street from South Virginia Street to the CSX Railroad, as further described on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference, is hereby renamed Bell Hooks Way. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
Second.
We got Jason and Amy and Craig. All righty, I ask clerk, any discussion on this before we move forward? All righty, ask clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Francis,
Yes.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lomberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yes.
And that does pass on second reading.
All right, thank you. All righty, ordinance 47-2023, renaming a section of East 21st Street as Bill Flynn Boulevard on second reading.
An ordinance renaming a section of East 21st Street as Bill Flynn Boulevard, whereas the city of Hopkinsville submitted a request to the E91 Advisory Board to rename a section of East 21st Street as Bill Flynn Boulevard. And whereas the Hopkinsville Christian County E91 Advisory Board on September 28, 2023, favorably recommended renaming a section of East 21st Street as Bill Flynn Boulevard. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, that the 1,503-foot section of East 21st Street is further described on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference is hereby renamed Bill Flynn Boulevard. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Travis and Jamie. All righty, any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Francis,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lomberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yeah.
And that does pass on second reading.
All righty, ordinance 48-2023, Canton, Pike, and Pyle Lane, zoning, first reading.
Amending the zoning maps of the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, zone properties located on Canton Pike and Pyle Lane. Whereas Community and Development Services initiated a zoning map amendment by Resolution 2023-06 to assign the original zoning designation of B2 General Business District to properties located at 4405 and 4425 Canton Pike and to a property located on Pyle Lane, parcel ID 08503000012.02. And whereas Community and Development Services made favorable recommendation at their October 30th, 2023 meeting for City Council to approve original zoning application R2310-1. And whereas City Council concurs, said recommendation is in agreement with the Hopkinsville Christian County Comprehensive Plan and significant physical, social, and economic changes have occurred warranting the zoning of the properties. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Pursuant to KRS 100.211, Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances, Community and Development Services Resolution 2023-06, and recommendation dated October 30th, 2023, properties located at 4405 and 4425 Canton Pike and to a property located on Pyle Lane, as further described on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein, are hereby zoned B2 General Business District. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
Motion. Don
Second.
and Amy, thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call on the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Francis,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lomberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yes.
And that passes on first reading.
All righty, ordinance 49-2023, Pyle Lane, zoning, second reading.
Amending the zoning maps of the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, zone properties located 1185 and 1189 Pyle Lane. Whereas Community and Development Services initiated a zoning map amendment by Resolution 2023-06 to assign the original zoning designation of R3 1 and 2 family residential district to properties located 1185 and 1189 Pyle Lane. And whereas Community and Development Services made a favorable recommendation at their October 30th, 2023 meeting for City Council to approve original zoning application R23-10-2. And whereas City Council concurs, said recommendation is in agreement with the Hopkinsville Christian County Comprehensive Plan, and significant physical, social, and economic changes have occurred warranting the zoning of the properties. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, pursuant to KRS 100.211, Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances, Community and Development Services Resolution 2023-06, and recommendation dated October 30th, 2023, properties located 1185 and 1189 Pyle Lane, as further described on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein, are hereby zoned R3, 1 and 2 family residential district. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
Terry,
Second.
Don, all right. Any discussion? Now call the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Francis.
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh.
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilmember Craig.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
Councilmember Meek.
Yes.
Councilmember Lineberger.
Yes.
Councilmember Keel.
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yes.
And that does pass on second reading.
All righty, thank you. Ordinance 50-2023 Pyle Lane and Peachtree Place zoning, second reading.
Amending the zoning maps of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Zone properties located at 1035, 1037, and 1039 Pyle Lane, and 1096 and 1098 Peachtree Place. Whereas Community and Development Services initiated a zoning map amendment by Resolution 2023-06 to assign the original zoning designation of R2 Single Family Residential District to properties located at 1035, 1037, and 1039 Pyle Lane, and 1096 and 1098 Peachtree Place. Whereas Community and Development Services made favorable recommendation at their October 30th, 2023 meeting for City Council to approve original zoning application R23-10-3. And whereas City Council concurs, said recommendation is in agreement with the Hopkinsville Christian County Comprehensive Plan, and significant physical, social, and economic changes have occurred warranting the zoning of the properties. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, pursuant to KRS 100.211, Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances, Community and Development Services Resolution 2023-06, and recommendation dated October 30th, 2023, properties located at 1035, 1037, and 1039 Pyle Lane, and 1096 and 1098 Peachtree Place, as further described on Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein, are hereby zoned R2 Single Family Residential District. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
Need a motion?
Motion.
Jamie, Terry, thank you very much. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll have the clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Francis.
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh.
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Yes.
Councilmember Craig.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
Councilmember Meek.
Yes.
Councilmember Lineberger.
Yes.
Councilmember Keel.
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yes.
And that does pass on second reading.
Thank you. Ordinance 51-2023 Code of Ordinance Supplement, second reading.
Enacting and adopting supplements to the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky Code of Ordinances. Whereas American Legal Publishing Corporation of Cincinnati, Ohio has completed the 2022 S14 and 2023 S15 supplements to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Hopkinsville, which supplements contain ordinances of a general nature enacted since the prior supplement to the Code of Ordinances of this municipality. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Section 1, that the 2022 S14 and 2023 S15 supplements to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which include ordinances adopted through December 31st, 2021 and December 6, 2022, copies of which are on file in the City Clerk's office, are hereby adopted in full and incorporated into the Code of Ordinances by reference, the same as is set out in its entirety. Section 2, if any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 4, this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
So moved.
Second.
Amy, Jamie, thank you. Councilman, any discussion? Seeing none, call the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Francis,
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley,
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh,
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree,
Yes.
Councilmember Craig,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox,
Yes.
Councilmember Meek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lumberger,
Yes.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yes.
And that passes on second reading.
All right, municipal orders coming up. Got a short one there. Municipal order 52-2023 Toyota Boshoku America grant agreement.
Hopkinsville City Council hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the attached grant agreement in the amount of $750,000 between the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development, the State Property and Buildings Commission, the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and Toyota Boshoku America Incorporated.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Travis and Amy. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty. Municipal Order 53-2023, Huhtamaki Incorporated Incentives.
A municipal order establishing an industrial incentive district authorizing and directing the retention of up to 50% of all occupational license fees due and payable to the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, from the salaries, wages, and other compensation to be paid to the new employees of Huhtamaki Incorporated in said industrial incentive district for a period of 20 years. Whereas the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky is authorized to levy and impose an annual license fee upon all persons, associations, corporations, or other entities engaged in any occupation, trade, profession, or other activity in the city for the privilege of engaging in such occupation, trade, profession, or activity. And whereas Huhtamaki Incorporated has proposed to expand and make improvements to property located at 203 Commerce Court, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And whereas company estimates an investment of up to $4,200,000 in said industrial development, including the property, building, equipment, furniture, and fixtures, which will result in approximately 100 new jobs. And whereas said development will promote economic development, will provide much-needed industrial space in Hopkinsville, Christian County, and will provide additional revenue to the city through the collection of occupational license fees. And whereas an incentive to support Huhtamaki Incorporated in said industrial development, the city hereby agrees to authorize Huhtamaki Incorporated and/or its assigns to retain 50% of the total occupational license fee revenues otherwise derived by the city from salaries, wages, and other compensation paid to new employees in said industrial district for a period of 20 years after its commencement. And whereas said industrial development through the hiring of new employees increases the net profits and occupational license fee revenues and enhances overall economic prosperity in the community. Now therefore be it ordered as follows. There is hereby established for the purpose of calculating and rebating occupational license fees in industrial incentive district hereinafter referred to as Huhtamaki Incorporated, the boundaries of which are the company's property located at 203 Commerce Court, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. The City Council of Hopkinsville, Kentucky hereby authorizes a rebate of 50% of the occupational license fees imposed and levied on wages, salaries, and other compensation paid in the Huhtamaki Incorporated Industrial Incentive District to new employees and newly created positions for a period of 20 years from the commencement of said rebates. Said rebates shall be paid to Huhtamaki Incorporated and/or its assigns. The City Council of the City of Hopkinsville further states that the occupational license fee rebates referenced above shall not apply to any existing industrial establishment located within the City of Hopkinsville that relocates from an existing location to a location within the industrial incentive district, and the retention and rebate of occupational license fees authorized and directed herein shall not apply to other income or net profits of Huhtamaki Incorporated or other entities within the industrial incentive district, and only applies to occupational license fees on wages, salaries, and other compensation paid to new employees and newly created positions in said district. The City Council of Hopkinsville further states that the retention and rebate of occupational license fees as authorized and directed herein shall commence upon written notification and proof from the company to activate said incentives within 12 months of the execution of this municipal order. And unless other extended by City Council, shall not apply in the event company fails to begin expansion development of the property within the industrial incentive district within 24 months of the execution of this municipal order, fails to comply with local, state, or federal laws, or otherwise fails to comply with terms hereof.
Motion.
Second.
Travis and Bruce. Okay. Any discussion there? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Municipal Order 54-2023, IGSA salt contract.
Hopkinsville City Council hereby authorizes the mayor to sign the attached revised intergovernmental support agreement between the United States and the city of Hopkinsville to provide road salt to Fort Campbell.
Motion.
Second.
Amy, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Municipal Order 55-2023 surplus property.
Whereas the attached listed property was purchased for use by the Hopkinsville Police Department, and whereas said items are in need of repair exceeding current value and/or of no value to the city in delivering public services. Now therefore be it ordered, Hopkinsville City Council hereby declares the items on the attached list surplus property and authorizes the mayor to dispose of said items by methods available in KRS 82.083.
Motion.
Travis and
Second.
Don. All righty. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, got that down. Item 12, other. Any other business we need to talk about? Before we? All righty. Item 13, councilman comments. Yes, Ms. Jamie.
I just would like to give a big shout out to Public Works. I thanked Dave earlier before the meeting, but just a big shout out to Public Works because once again, they paved some corners and curbs in Ward 9, and I just really appreciate those guys doing it, especially on such cold days. So thank you very much.
Any other council members got comments? All righty. I will say this before we go into item 14. Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and Happy Holidays. And I will need a motion to go into closed session.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Travis.
For the record, that motion is pursuant to KRS 61.8101G, discussion of economic development proposals.
All right. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We'll go into closed session. All righty, we are back out of closed session. No action was taken at this time. And we will move back into item 15, adjournment of Ward 3. Mr. Don Marsh.
Thank you. Of course, as we all know what time of year it is. Merry Christmas to everybody and you and your families. I read from the prophet Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. And the government," since we're here doing the business of the people, "the kingdom government shall be upon his shoulder. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end. Upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and justice from henceforth, even forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this." I come now to the New Testament record of the angel bringing tidings to the shepherds outside Bethlehem. And in Luke chapter 2, verse 10, it says, "The angel said to them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people." I thank God for the joy that he places in our heart. The world doesn't give it to us. The world can't take it away. The Bible says it'll be to all people. So I pray that for all of the citizens of the city of Hopkinsville and surrounding area in Christian County. And I'll finish with a meme that I saw from the brilliant philosopher Charlie Brown, okay, who said this: "When you choose joy, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. And when you do good, it reminds others of what joy feels like. And it just might inspire them to do the same." So I just want to encourage everybody to choose joy. Feel good, let's receive it. And with that, I make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Mayor.
Got a motion and a second by Travis. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank y'all. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.